billions of dollars on it as they take farmers' land. Why is that a good idea?
Well, Senator, we do not have actual discretion for projects that seek FAST 41 coverage. So it was not a decision on my part actually to grant coverage. If a project meets the criteria as defined in statute and they seek FAST 41 coverage, we are obligated to extend that coverage to the project, independent of the individual merits of the project.
Don't you think that it's kind of incredible that this private company, Invenergy, that is responsible now for Greenbelt Express, that is making boatloads of money on it, that is taking farmers' land in my state without compensating them. Here's how bad it was, Mr. Badel, in the state of Missouri. Invenergy was refusing to negotiate with farmers, refusing to give them fair market value, using the power of eminent domain. I emphasize this is a private corporation that is doing this. So bad that the Missouri State Legislature had to step in and pass special legislation to require the company to compensate farmers fairly for the land that they were taking.
The federal government is helping a private corporation take land from hard-working Missouri farmers and giving them nothing in return. That's exactly what's happening with the Greenbelt Express project. Senator Josh Hawley exposed this outrageous situation. You're going to want to hear these shocking facts. What is the Greenbelt Express? It's a 542-mile-long high-voltage transmission line cutting through Missouri. The goal? Transport electricity. But it was set to provide zero power to Missouri. Farmers lose land, state gets nothing. Behind it, Invenergy, using eminent domain to force sales. Private business profits, Missouri families suffer. You'd think the government would step in to protect farmers, right? Wrong. Instead, federal agencies are rolling out the red carpet. The Biden administration granted this project FAST 41 approval, basically a VIP pass. The official being grilled by Hawley admitted they had no discretion. If a project checks a few basic boxes, it's automatically approved. Farmers in Missouri aren't taking this lying down. They've been fighting for years to get lawmakers to listen. It got so bad that the Missouri State Legislature had to pass a special law. Corporations are so powerful now that it takes a state law to get them to do the bare minimum. This is where Senator Josh Hawley comes in. And let me tell you, he did not hold back. He grilled the Biden official, calling out how federal agencies are letting corporations steamroll family farmers. He asked point blank, why do private companies get whatever they want while regular Americans get ignored? If your agency is just a rubber stamp for corporations, why do you even exist? Mic drop. Here's the bigger issue. This isn't just about Missouri, it's happening all over the country. The government claims to work for the people, but bends over backwards for corporations while everyday Americans get left behind. Can you blame them? So what's next? Missouri farmers are still fighting. This affects all of us. We must hold the government accountable, so let's make some noise.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Badel, is that how I say your name, by the way?
It is, yes.
Badel,
thank you.
Okay. Thanks for being here today. Are you familiar with the Greenbelt Express?
I am, yes, sir.
Tell us about it.
The Greenbelt Express is a transmission line crossing Kansas and Missouri. It is currently in the NEPA phase with a draft environmental impact statement, I think targeted for towards the end of this year, the beginning of next year, with the Department of Energy as the lead agency. And it sought FAST 41 coverage from my agency in February of this year.
542 miles of overhead high voltage lines that will cut right across the state of Missouri. You've designated it, you've given it FAST 41 approval, is that correct?
Well, it is a FAST 41 covered project, yes.
So what will the effect of that be, the FAST 41 designation?
So FAST 41 is a procedural statute that helps bring the agencies who have permitting actions together. It establishes a permitting timetable to provide predictability and transparency to the public as to what the actions are necessary for the project to seek approval and actually get to construction. So we have developed a permitting timetable for that project and posted it to the permitting dashboard. And as we will maintain active project management of the timetable to ensure that we are meeting permitting deadlines.
Here's what you said upon approving the Greenbelt Express for FAST 41 status. Greenbelt Express exemplifies the type of transformative transmission projects capable of delivering the triple play of affordability, grid reliability, and more domestic renewable energy production. Are you aware that the Greenbelt Express is highly controversial in the state of Missouri and vociferously opposed by farmers in my state?
I am aware that there is local opposition to the project, yes.
Yeah, to put it mildly, why is it a good idea to go over the heads of the people of Missouri and give this expressway, which is being developed by a private company that's making probably billions of dollars on it as they take farmers' land. Why is that a good idea?
Well, Senator, we do not have actual discretion for projects that seek Fast 41 coverage. So it was not a decision on my part actually to grant coverage. If a project meets the criteria as defined in statute and they seek Fast 41 coverage, we are obligated to extend that coverage to the project, independent of the individual merits of the project.
Don't you think that it's kind of incredible that this private company, Invenergy, that is responsible now for Greenbelt Express, that is making boatloads of money on it, that is taking farmers' land in my state without compensating them? Here's how bad it was, Mr. Badel, in the state of Missouri. Invenergy was refusing to negotiate with farmers, refusing to give them fair market value, using the power of eminent domain. I emphasize this is a private corporation that is doing this. So bad that the Missouri State Legislature had to step in and pass special legislation to require the company to compensate farmers fairly for the land that they were taking. All of this, and the state of Missouri still gets, originally we were going to get no benefit from the Grain Belt Expressway. Zero, no power was going to flow to Missourians. It was going to come across our land, take our farmers' land, give the money to this private corporation, and we were going to get zilch. What strikes me is farmers have opposed this for years. Farmers have been trying to get a hearing for years. Farmers have been trying to get anybody to listen to their concerns, and this private corporation, Invenergy, which by the way has sat right where you're sitting, and testified about how wonderful this program is, although they can never quite remember how much money they're going to make on it. It's a lot. They get whatever they want. When they come to you, boom, they get their designation. When they go to FERC, they get their designation. It's amazing. Every federal agency is bending over backwards to give this private corporation everything they want, and working farmers in my state and working people in my state who live on the land, maybe have lived on the land for generations, eking out a living, they can't get anything. They can't even get compensated for their land. And this corporation is making billions. And you're telling me there's just nothing you can do about it?
We do not influence the decision-making process for the project.
So it's not a decision at all on your part. I mean, you're just a rubber stamp.
Well, we don't approve any projects. We don't issue
so the Fast 41 is just, you're just saying that that's just merely a what? That's just an administrative designation? I mean, you don't have anything to do with it?
It is an administrative designation.
So what's the permitting council do then? You don't review applications? You don't, when you make the designation, what, does an algorithm do it?
If a project meets the criteria for a covered project, meaning it is subject to NEPA.
Who reviews whether it meets the covered criteria?
I do.
Oh, okay, so you do make a determination.
I make a determination that it meets the criteria. And the minimum criteria is that it has $200 million investment, subject to NEPA, and multiple federal approvals. That project meets that criteria.
So there is a decision-making process. You're part of it. You've approved this. Listen, I mean, this is the same story that we get every time, and that frankly farmers and workers in my state get every time. It's always that, sorry, there's nothing we can do. The corporation can get whatever it wants. Want to take the land? Fine, go for it. Want to designate this as a high transmission zone? Fine, go for it. Fast 41? Absolutely, we'd be happy to do it. But farmers are told, oh, you have concerns? There's just no place for you to be heard. And now you're telling me that you just didn't have any discretion in it. You're just a functionary. The corporation can just get whatever it wants. Maybe that is the law. I doubt it. If it is, it needs to be changed. But I'm just here to tell you on behalf of the people of my state, I think it's outrageous that a private corporation can take this kind of land. We're talking about a massive corridor right across the central part of Missouri. We're talking about taking land from farmers whose families it has been for generations. These are not corporate farmers. These are small family farmers. They live on this land. They don't hire lobbyists. They don't appear before your agency, clearly. They don't have any voice, obviously. And they're just told, you just got to suck it up and take it. I just have a problem with that. I mean, I just think it's ridiculous. And frankly, if you don't have any discretion and your agency doesn't have any discretion, I question why you exist. I mean, if you really just are rubber stamping whatever comes before you, let's just shut down your council and replace you with a computer algorithm if you don't have any discretion. I mean, I just think this is ridiculous. I think the whole thing is ridiculous. And I think the idea that a private corporation can leverage the laws of the United States and every piece of the federal government in order to get what it wants and make billions off the people of Missouri when they're getting no benefit is ridiculous. And it is why the people of this country hate their government so much and suspect it. And they have every reason to do so. I just think the whole thing is ridiculous. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So let's make some noise. Drop a comment below. Should the government stop private companies from using eminent domain? Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.